Hello, this is John from Dan Best Racing Carburetor. Wanted to do a little video today on a 1.585 4150 inch and 3/4 butterfly billet. I see so many people now trying to imitate our billet carburetors, so I wanted to give a little time to show some of the features on ours. Of course, our super attractive billet float bowls, which we have. I'm going to stick my finger in there. The cap where the needle and seat screws into, and there's 360-degree channel below this cap. So no matter where you turn the needle and seat, you get 100% access to the top of the needle and 100% access to the bottom of the needle. Our lightweight billet machined aluminum main body. Right now the whole carburetor is 100% billet. Our billet base plates are also made in-house now. Our special custom manufactured hat and base plate. Here we get a little something for a pointer so you can see better. So my finger doesn't work that well. I'm going to use a pen here. Right here is where the Venturi is above the booster. That's our patent. And we have 6 current patents. One is in gas turbine, so that's not inside of these carburetors. It's for jet engines. And but inside our metering blocks, we have our 251 patent in the main wells, which shears the fuel at the rate of consumption in the main wells. It makes the droplets that much smaller. Our very, very lovely stainless steel laser welded banjos, where the ID of this is 250, so that once you separate the droplets in the metering block, they stay separated, they don't recollect. Our billet inserts, which we now see some people are copying some parts of these. The interesting thing is you know, as the internet dilutes the places where it can be marketed, it's hard to tell everybody, you know, the features that we have and that we've been leading on for, you know, now decades. So we hope that we have people out there spreading the word for Dan Best. We could certainly always use more people. I use a 832 set screw for the air bleeds because it's the smallest interruption in our radius, and someone doesn't need to spend a huge amount of money buying air bleed sets. They can make their own. Rarely do these things need changing in our carbs, but we wanted to make sure that after buying the carburetor it didn't become a problem buying accessories. We put the sight tube on the linkage side. That just made sense, because as you're working the throttle, you can just look down and look right in the float ball and see what the fuel's doing. So it just seemed obvious to myself. And you can see the Teflon gasket we use between the float ball and the metering block, and it's because as we were improving the fasteners and situation, people began to continue to clamp down on the bolts and squeezing out the gasket between the float bowl and the metering block. So now that's Teflon as well. So when you squeeze it down, the next thing that yields out is the Teflon washers behind the screws. So it's funny, the better you make something, the more people keep cranking on it. And but these things are lovely. And if you notice the new carbs now, they can't copy the repositioned Venturi, but they have made the top of the carburetor appear to be more like us. Even the Holly Gen 3s were a copy of our general appearance on our Dash 3s. So it's amazing how we're leading the thing. I wish, I have to laugh, but I wish financially we were leading. But someone has to lead the technology for other people to follow, and that seems to be what I do in my career. And now that I've been in business almost 50 years, and go back and see that on many of the areas that we were leaders. And I'm going to show you the carburetor here. Let me just, you see some of the splits, the slide carburetors there as I move the camera. Well, this is carburetor's in for freshening, so it's not a brand new carburetor, but nothing's changed in the technology. This is where you had the venturi below the booster, and then you see all the space that's around the booster, so air can literally come down and find its way into the engine without necessarily going over the booster. So as the air gets, speed picks up, the air tends to be one, makes itself more straight. You see the interruptions for the air bleeds that they use. Well, a lot of this, in the billet carbs now, they've, without infringing the patents, they've tried to make all of this area go away so that you get some more isolation to the booster. They can't copy our patents directly. What they're trying to do is make them aesthetically look more like Dan Best, both in construction and appearance, using previous style technology. So when you look at the carburetor overall, new air versus old air, and the weight, geez, these things are heavy. When we first started doing the billet carbs, the zinc carbs of Holly were making in the same size were 23 pounds, and we were slightly under 7, so it was a huge weight savings. And that's when Quick Fuel came out with the aluminum carburetors instead of zinc. So it's amazing how long we've been leading, and now that other people are beginning to copy the aesthetics, the materials, and the process. I really hope some people will share these videos to help get the word out for Dan Best. Thank you and have a great day.